The next contest is a heavyweight contest of 8 3-minute rounds. Introducing to you firstly in the blue corner. Wearing the blue trunks with white trim. He comes from Minsk in Belarus and weighs in at 16 stone 1 pound. Tonight engaging in his 22nd contest. Please welcome Raman Sukhaterin. And his opponent across the ring in the blue corner, wearing the red trunks. He fights out of Liverpool and weighs in at 17 stone 9 pounds. As an amateur, he was 3 times AVA Super Heavyweight Champion, 2006 Melbourne Commonwealth Games gold medalist, and 2008 Beijing Olympic Games bronze medalist. As a professional, he enters the ring with 7 wins. Undefeated, 5 of those wins coming by way of knockout. Please welcome David Price. Your timekeeper is Peter McCann. Your referee at the bell is Phil Edwards. Boxers, please.
Okay, gentlemen, you follow my instructions. When I tell you to break, take a step back, watch those heads in close. Touch gloves. Good luck to you both.
Seconds out, first round.
8th appearance for promoter Frank Maloney's enticing, well-schooled heavyweight hope David Price. Prestigious amateur and an improved polish to his professional displays now. Could be one to really emerge on the scene. The Belarusian Raman Sukhaterin, the task tonight. And Price beginning his career off, Jim, very nicely indeed.
Yep, I think once he settles well into the pro game, which is exactly what he's doing at the moment, he's going to be very difficult to beat. Excellent boxer, excellent amateur pedigree. Massive, strong, decent puncher. Yeah, bright future. If he can take one on the chin, which is always the big question with heavyweights, then a bright future.
There was that question mark through his amateur career, but nothing really problematic as a pro so far for Price, who does everything rather well. Textbook, good jab, looking for the uppercut against the smaller man. 35-year-old Sukhaterin, who's never been stopped. Might be resilient, but will he be able to take Price's power and the quality of punch?
Well, he's boxing behind that high guard, just trying to bore his way close and get some punches off. He wants to make it a little bit messy, obviously. It's Price's job to keep him on the end of the jab, get the punches off a little bit earlier. Don't allow him close.
Good work with the right hand. Body shot and uppercut from David Price. Such a bubbling scene, the domestic heavyweights, with the likes of Tyson Fury and Larry Olabamiwo, Tom Dallas, plenty of them on the rise. British champion Derek Chisora, of course, who's got that amazing world title opportunity out in Germany against Vladimir Klitschko. It's wide open.
Yeah, well, Price trying the uppercut a couple of times there, which is the perfect punch for an opponent coming forward with that high guard. So you can see he's thinking what he's doing. He's retained a lot of his amateur moves, but developing into a decent looking pro as well.
A lovely combination about 20 seconds or so ago from Price. Real thinker. He is tall at 6'8", but he makes good use of that with the jab. Like that.
You know, I think for a tall heavyweight, especially one that tall, you want to develop a good jab, then he's doing that.
You know, good start. Just keep on the end of that jab. Start looking for other shots off it. Do you want that? I'll leave it in. Okay. Out.
The Price corner. 27 now, David.
Yeah, well, controlling things from long range, and that's at the uppercut. He tried a couple of uppercuts in the opening round. Those are sickening punches. If Sukhaterin keeps marching forward the way he's doing and he's walking onto a few of those uppercuts, that'll take some of the enthusiasm away from him. Good opening round.
You're here now.
Price.
Alright, so just relax now. Let your shots start flowing.
Okay, Franny Smith, Frank Hopkins in the corner. Usually find Dave Colwell there.
6 outs, round 2.
Second round, the red trunks of the big Liverpool fan, David Price, who'll be happy that matters have resolved a little at Anfield this week. Getting his jab flowing against Raman Sukhaterin, who's more experienced. 21 professional appearances, but couldn't have thought he's met anyone with the pedigree of David Price. 3-time ABA super heavyweight champion, Commonwealth Games gold medalist and bronze at the Beijing Olympics. It's great stats, isn't it?
Yeah, he's turned pro with a real reputation. Okay, obviously a totally different game, the pro game, but I think he's developing well. He's kind of shortening the jab here. I think he should be thumping it out. Even if it's not landing cleanly, it'll knock Sukhaterin off balance and let him follow through with some of the other punches. He puts them together well.
Sukhaterin coming off a win, a third round stoppage of Sergei Markov, and that was at the end of September. He should be in good shape and trying his best to come forward. Good body shot from Price. Quick hands too, Jim.
Yeah, well, he's doing the right things here. He's starting nice and steadily in the first minute of the round, then digs in with the punches. Obviously, Sukhaterin's going to let some punches go early. He's going to have a little bit of ambition, but body shots like that as the round progresses will take the enthusiasm away. So he's a thinking fighter, and you can see that in everything he does, David Price.
Really utilising the jab. You know, with the tall guys in recent times, like the Klitschko brothers and Lennox Lewis, you know, everything comes off that punch. It can be a really potent weapon. Nice uppercut too from Price. Got the moves.
You can see when Price shows a little feint, the way Sukhaterin goes into a shell. I think he realises he's going to struggle here to shine. He's maybe just going to have to try to be as competitive as he can, keep himself in there. But what we've seen so far, Price, a little bit too good for him.
Yeah, Price want to keep him some distance, and Sukhaterin attempting to get closer and load his own combinations, but lovely work there from Price to body and head. I think he might be the classiest of these young heavyweights around at the moment.
Yeah, I think he's the most skillful. But when we're talking over the longer distance, when we get to championship 12 rounders, that's not all that counts.
Valerie Kaplia leading proceedings. Always think he looks like a young choir boy alongside Philippe Fondue, former gamekeeper and dentist, man of many talents.
Yeah, well, this is not a game for choir boys. Some good body punching from Price now. He's realising the high guard, there's target behind the elbows, and coming back with the uppercut, putting punches together well, boxing well, just keeping himself in control.
Right.
Nothing dramatic yet,
Start to warm up to it,
but winning it clearly.
Alright, enjoy yourself out there. Come on.
All calm and cool in the Price corner.
6 outs, round 3.
Third round of this, scheduled for 8. Liverpool's David Price, the 27-year-old, looking for his 8th straight win. Nice clipping left hook. And the advancing Raman Sukhaterin from Minsk in Belarus in the blue trunks, giving away height, reach, talent so much, but he's been gutsy. How long will it continue? These body shots might start taking their toll on Sukhaterin.
Yeah, well, Price has started a little bit more positively in this round. Maybe he fancies the stoppage. He will feel Sukhaterin maybe weakening up close in there, trying to do a little bit more holding, maybe coming a little bit more negative. Time to put the pedal down.
Price has stopped 5 of his 7 professional foes. Went the distance over 6 rounds with Daniel Perret, a man they call Shrek from Russia and Norway, who we often see over here testing our heavyweight, so no disgrace there. In fact, they probably wanted Price to get the rounds. And he's never been halted either, this Sukhaterin, so maybe that's the idea with this one too.
Well, you can see why, because he's seldom caught in the chin. The punches he does tend to take are on the forehead, or they're partially blocked through that high guard. Price not finding the chin yet, but if he keeps throwing those uppercuts, maybe one will do.
No panic from David Price. Again, showing us he can throw a left hook. He's got the punches, hasn't he? The range of them.
Yep, he's put them together nicely. The body shots are beginning to work now. I think Sukhaterin really feeling those. He's not doing much up close. And in the first couple of rounds, he was trying to get close and get some punches off. Now when he's up close, he just wants to survive. This is really becoming heavy weather for him.
Promoter Frank Maloney just in front of us, and he's looking relaxed and impressed with his young charge. Got big plans for Price in 2011. I think he feels with that amateur experience and quality, he can move him quicker than some of the others.
Well, Price found the chin there of Sukhaterin, and he took the punch well as the body shots working so well.
It's precision from Price, weakening his man and not over-committing. I think this is a really good performance so far from David Price.
Yeah, but I don't think he worries too much about the crowd's expectations. Some fighters will be thinking, time to get that man out of there, but he's taking his time.
6 out, round 4.
Here's the 4th round, 4th appearance of the year for David Price from Merseyside, the red Liverpool colours of the big football fan. Likewise is Paul Smith, who's got that mouth-watering clash with James de Gale, now penned in for December the 11th. Paul Edwards closing in on the British flyweight title. Tony Bellew. It's all starting to happen in Liverpool. And David Price with real potential to become an important addition to the heavyweight scene. Everything going well here against this tough Belarusian, Raman Sukhaterin.
Looking very relaxed, Price, which is good to see. I mean, when you get to the longer distance fights, you don't want to be tense, burning up nervous energy. He's looking very relaxed. The punches are flowing from him. He's looking good. And not too bothered whether if the stoppage comes, fair enough. But he doesn't seem overly concerned about it.
Trying the left hook again, but it's the jab that's been particularly impressive tonight. Finding its way through the middle. And then he hunts the body too. Do you think he waited a little too long in the amateurs, or is this about the right time for him to be making his move as a pro?
Well, we know that the heavyweights, they mature that little bit later, so it's no great problem. They're leaving it a little bit later. Lots of heavyweights don't hit their peak to early to middle 30s. So time is on his side, he's fresh, he hasn't had a punishing amateur career. So turn pro when you're ready to do so. Doesn't matter what age you are. When you're ready, you're ready.
Oh, good uppercut from Price with the right hand. Really picked that well. And body shots to follow up with. See, that's the class that I was mentioning.
Yeah, and he knows he's looking good here. The crowd are enjoying this. It's a little bit one-sided, but they're not becoming annoyed and expecting him to get this fellow out of there. So he's boxing well, the crowd are enjoying it, he's not in too much of a hurry. If the stoppage comes, he'll be delighted, but he's not too bothered about it, and plenty of time yet to score that stoppage.
Yeah, he's thinking about what he's doing. He's using every minute of the sessions here against a tough Eastern European opponent, and the uppercuts are just beginning to work a treat. Yeah, this is really good from David Price.
Okay. Perfect. Absolutely spot on. You're looking great. $1 million, variety of shots. Okay.
Well, the corner are delighted. They're saying he's looking $1 million. He is tonight.
Yep, I think that's fair comment. Everything he's trying is working out. The accuracy's there. He's controlling this fellow. It's an impressive work rate we've seen from him, and beautiful uppercuts. You can see Sukhaterin is really tough when the punches do land cleanly.
Okay.
So he wants to be there to hear that final bell.
Concentrate, nothing stupid.
The stats are kind of underlining how one-sided it's becoming.
Over 5 times the punches landed from the fists of David Price.
Six results, round 5.
Second half of this 8-round heavyweight contest here in East London, featuring Liverpool's David Price, whose skills were honed in the famous Salisbury Amateur Boxing Club. In tonight with a tough Belarusian in Raman Sukhaterin, who's 35. He has lost 15 of 21, but they've all been on points. Can Price stop him? He's got plenty of time, and he's taking his time.
Yeah, well, if he could find the chin cleanly, I have no doubt he could get him out of there. He has the power to stop this fella, but it's just difficult to find the chin. Lots of his punches have been at least partially blocked, or are landing high. I'm impressed the way Price doesn't seem too much bothered. He knows he's boxing well, he's putting on a show, he's learning, he's improving with every fight, and he seems quite happy with himself in there.
Totally relaxed in body, but concentration on the mind of David Price. Good defense too. I think he's really using this as a ring experience. You know, you get the rounds of sparring. I know he's been working with Tom Dallas, another unbeaten fighter in the Frank Maloney stable lately, but you know, this is where you can really notch up the sessions, and he's doing it well.
Yeah, but I'm impressed with the quality of the punching. Okay, he's not finding the target cleanly, but these are really good, sharp punches that he's throwing. He's putting them together well, he's delivering them perfectly. It's just this fellow is so tough and so difficult to catch cleanly.
Tries to get through with one, Sukhaterin. Price just comes back with a volley. He's had a little hand trouble, and some people are saying on the circuit that his chin's not the best, but we can't really monitor that yet until he steps up in class, until he moves through the levels. But what he's doing at the moment is very good indeed.
Well, it'll probably be a little while before we see him in some real tough competitive fights, and that's when you can make your mind up about a fighter. But you can't fault what he's done tonight, and he's certainly getting better every time we see him.
Jim, I think you can make your mind up now about David Price. He's got qualities, he's got really good qualities.
Yeah, well, I think he's proved that already in the amateur game, but whether he's going to be a force at the top level in the heavyweight division, you don't know about that. I mean, we've seen some heavyweights turning pro with massive reputations. We just maybe lack one of the little qualities that's required. No signs of that from Price, but we'll see.
Tougher now for Raman Sukhaterin. Can he last the distance?
Good Price.
3 rounds to go. The big question, I guess, is can David Price become the first man to stop Raman Sukhaterin, who has boxed here before in Britain? He rocked Pele Reid when they met in Birmingham. He's been 12 with Henry Akinwande. Remember him, the one-time WBO champion. And 6th with Tomasz Bonyin, who was blown away by David Hay on his heavyweight debut. Totally in control and smooth boxing from David Price, who's shown us the jab, the uppercut, some lovely body shots around the side of this very, very defensive, crab-like posture of Sukhaterin.
He's just not getting too close to Sukhaterin now, just giving himself room to get the punches off. I wonder maybe as he settled down to the fact that this is going to go 8 rounds. And just don't get involved, don't switch off. And don't let this little fellow start messing him around.
Has been 6 before against Daniel Perret, David Price. And went forward with Yavor Maranchev, but it would be another tick in the box. 8 rounds for the first time. He doesn't look like he's in any hurry, you know, to put the fast combinations together and force the stoppage. This hasn't been what this performance has been about.
Well, that's what's impressed me about Price. He doesn't look too bothered. He would be happy with the stoppage. If the chance comes, he will take it. But he's not worrying about it. Some fighters would be worried maybe the crowd were expecting the knockout and put themselves under pressure, but he's kept cool-headed. He's doing the right things. He's continued to do the right things, winning it by a mile. When he's hardly been hit with a decent punch in the 5 rounds that we've seen already.
Lovely body shot with the right hand, and swelling around the left eye now beginning to get worse for Sukhaterin, who's going to be feeling it in the morning, I should think, around the ribs and face.
Yeah, I think Sukhaterin really looking forward to the end of the 8 rounds here. He's here to do a job, he's doing that job well. But this must be becoming a little bit painful for him, especially the body shots.
A little nick as well by the right eye for Sukhaterin, who's getting more tired at the end of each round. Is he going to make it through 8? They are very hard and very brave, some of these Eastern Europeans that come over. All the disadvantages, but the effort and commitment.
Sharp jabs in this last 2 rounds, all right? Razor sharp jabs and keep everything coming off it.
And physically, Price is still looking well. He's set a fair old pace here. You can see the body shot still working a treat. Still putting punches together, but looking completely comfortable in the corner there, not troubled by the pace that he has set.
Uncharted territory now for David Price, who here's the bell for the 7th round for the first time in his professional career. Began in March 2009. They know they've got to move quickly because he is 27 and he does have all this pedigree behind him. How would you match him if you were Frank Maloney now going forward?
Well, there's no panic. I mean, this is only his 8th fight, so there's no hurry to start thinking or talking about titles. There's just too much grease, I think, on the eye, probably. So there's no reason to rush him. He's improving, he's still learning the business. So obviously we want to see him in a couple of fights a fair bit more competitive than we've seen tonight. This hasn't been competitive, you have to say. We've seen some quality boxing, some quality punch picking, but it hasn't been competitive. So we need to see him under a little bit of pressure, see how he copes with it. Then we can make our minds up a bit quicker about him.
Body shot and uppercut again from Price, who may be a baby in professional terms, but Derek Chisora hasn't even had double the amount of fights of David Price, and he's taking the risk of going to try and become a world champion away from home. And that's what's so fascinating about the heavyweight division, when to make the move, the timing. You know, David Haye, the WBA heavyweight champion, there are options ahead in the next couple of years, aren't there, for these guys?
Yeah, well, we always like the heavyweight division. There's the right uppercut working again for Price. But Sukhaterin taking it well, doesn't seem troubled.
Bruised by the right eye now. Still trying to force punches out, but really good from Price, who's going through the gears. Lovely right hand. Phil Edwards, the referee, just having a closer look. Can Price get the job done? Last minute of the 7th.
Well, maybe the first time that Sukhoterin's defences have been scattered. They were really loose there, taking a couple of clean punches.
Price can sense it. This will be some icing on the cake of what's been an excellent night's work from David Price. Having to hold and just somehow get through this. Sukhaterin.
Yeah, well, you get the impression if Price raised the pace and stuck with it, that maybe the referee would have to step in and get this fella out of there, even if he didn't knock him out.
Lovely uppercut. Again, maybe just one or two more of those, and Phil Edwards does say, that's it. I think that's 10 out of 10 for David Price. Almost, virtually punch perfect from start to finish.
Yeah, but I mean, he was dominating all the way through, and I got the feeling that if he just raised the pace, he would force the referee to step in, and that's pretty much what happened. Sukhaterin probably would have carried on maybe until the final bell, but what was the point? It wasn't competitive. Price was winning every round. He was looking good in the process. Everything going so well for him. We just want to see him in something a little bit more competitive than we saw tonight, but you can't really fault what he did tonight.
Raman Sukhaterin stopped for the first time in his life, and David Price did it the classy way, the technical way, and also showed some devil too.
I mean, for the first time, he was getting through the defences of Sukhaterin regularly. He was opening the defences up as opposed to punching through them. So at this stage, you reckoned if he raised the pace and stuck with it, he would leave the referee with no option but to stop it, and that's pretty much what happened. I think Sukhaterin would have carried on, probably could have carried on, but there wasn't an awful lot of point, and Price still physically looking really good, plenty left in the tank, finished the job well.
A bright future awaits David Price from Liverpool.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the time, 2 minutes and 44 seconds of the 7th round. Your referee Phil Edwards stops the contest. Your winner and still undefeated from Liverpool, David Price. And as he leaves the ring, please give a real big round of applause for Raman Sukhaterin.
One, two, three, four, five. David Price, 8 out of 8. Did you feel better in there than you have done yet as a pro?
I did, yeah. It was a bit hectic getting here, and you know, I messed about with my warm-up, but somehow it worked in my favour, because I thought first couple of rounds I'll just get warmed up, you know, touch a few shots in and that, have a look. I mean, that fella, he didn't bring anything to the table apart from, you know, having a tight shell, but he hasn't been stopped before, so I'm happy with the result.
He was very durable. You become the first man ever to halt him. But was it the way you went about the job, relaxed, but, you know, showing what you can do in bursts?
That's exactly what we've been working on, you know. I'm at heavyweight. You know, you can't go 100 mile an hour for 12 3-minute rounds, so, you know, we're trying to work on different things. That's what I was trying to do, show it in burst. Walk around, you know, keep him on the end of the jab. We're doing a lot of work in the gym, me and Franny Smith, and you know, we think it's starting to pay off.
Promoter Frank Maloney, such a wide open heavyweight division. How quickly do you move, David?
Yeah, I mean, tonight I was very pleased with it. It was punch-perfect performance, and I think he's finished his apprenticeship. You will see from 2011, I promise the British boxing public, this guy will step up, and by 2011 he will dominate the British scene and the European scene.
Who do you want to match him with next?
I've got a few heavyweights I'm in negotiation with, so I don't want to spoil that negotiations, but I'm hoping to make an announcement very soon, and I think it's one that we'll all be pleased to see.
Finally, can you go all the way in this sport?
I believe to be honest, I wouldn't be doing it if I didn't think I could. I've nearly got to the top as an amateur. You know, I come home from the Olympics devastated with a bronze medal. More to do with the way the fight went. But that says a lot about how far I expect to go. You know, I expected to win gold in the Olympics. Didn't happen. As a pro, I want to make amends. I'm working hard. I'm leaving nothing to chance. And knowing the best heavyweight at domestic level at the moment, no problem. It's just a matter of next couple of fights are important to get the rounds under my belt. You know, that was ideal. Steady as we go, and then early part of next year, push on.
Thanks very much. Well done, David.